Here's the thing about most coaches doing 20 to 30K a month and stuck there. It's got nothing to do with how good they are at coaching. If anything, they're great at it. The reason they can't break past that number is they're trying to fix 10 things at once and making progress on none of them. You're running your own ads, scripting new ones, recording them, chasing new clients, fixing your show rates on sales calls, and then you're sitting there at the end of the month wondering why the revenue won't move. I'm AJ Nair. I scaled a real estate coaching business from 12K a month to 200K a month in 6 months, and I've worked with enough coaches since then to know exactly where the bottleneck is. Today, I'm going to show you how to identify the main bottleneck and find the one leverage point that actually moves your monthly revenue, so you can stop spreading yourself thin and start building something that compounds in growth. As a side note, growth isn't a linear chart. It increases a little bit month over month. Then you see a 2x. For example, we did 99K in December for our monthly revenue for the business, and the next month it was 180K. A big, massive jump up. And I want to let you know how to unlock these massive jumps. Let's go. Feast and famine trap. I want to actually call what's happening to you first. Good month, bad month, good month, bad month. You close a few clients, you go heads down delivering for them, your pipeline dries up because you stop marketing, and then you come up for air and realize you've got nothing lined up. So you scramble, you close a few more, the whole cycle starts again, and that's the feast and famine loop. You know why that's happening? Because you are doing everything. When you're the ads guy, the sales guy, the content guy, the coach all at once, your attention is split across everything, which means nothing gets done properly. So what I want you to do is stop asking, where do I focus? And ask, what breaks first? Most coaches ask the wrong question. They ask, where do I focus? And the answer is everything. Everything feels important, so you end up exactly where you started. The better question to ask is this. If you could only fix one thing in your business, what's the one thing that's holding everything else back? What's your actual bottleneck? What's the 20% in my business that once you fix it, enables 80% of growth? Because you don't have 10 problems. You have one big one, and it's creating the other 9. When you strip it all back, there are only 2 places worth your attention. How you get clients, which is marketing, and how you serve them, which is fulfillment. Now, here's where most coaches get it wrong. They pour all their energy into fulfillment. Better calls, better resources, better onboarding. And look, that feels productive because it's the part you're good at and the part that's screaming at you the loudest. But fulfillment doesn't pull you out of that feast and famine cycle. It just chains you tighter to delivery. The more you optimize fulfillment, the more the business depends on you being in the room. Make sense? Now, of course, great products means your clients talk about it more, you get more referrals, but more referrals isn't a scalable metric. You can't beg your clients every week to refer you to new ones. The leverage is on the other side, the marketing. And more specifically, it's in the front end, the way people first enter your world. The biggest leverage points for most online coaching businesses, from my opinion, are the following. The first is optimizing for buyers. I want to write that very clear. Buyers. Buyers bought something for you already, so they have the qualification built in, that they have a working debit card or credit card that they've already used for your business. And already, that's miles better than a lead who hasn't done anything to tell you that he's quality. When you start optimizing your whole business around buyers, your entire reality will change and your profitability will increase, because when you can self-liquidate on the front end, guess what? Your back end, that's 100% of your profits going to you. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is the customer avatar. This is such a unique thing that no one really talks about. Who's actually buying? And most people, they don't know who's buying. They market to someone, but the truth is, a different avatar is buying, for better or for worse. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're a copywriter, you're a copywriting coach. You're teaching copywriters how to be creative strategists with a 5K program. You are marketing to top full-time copywriters, but the copywriters are only paying you $500 to $800 a month. They're not paying in full for your 5K program. And the real people who are buying and paying in full, they are the career change folks. The folks with related skills in marketing, communications, They worked in an agency for 20 years, tech sales, they're going to be their own boss, and they are paying in full. So your marketing should reflect those related skills people, the marketing changes, the career changes, because that's what's giving you the money, right? So when you align your messaging and your marketing with the customer avatar, you will change the game completely because your market will feel more understood and you're going to get richer people to buy your stuff, which is what we all want. The third thing is consumption. You want to optimize your business all around consumption. What does that mean? Consumption means getting people to consume your content, to watch your content. Because if you're in a saturated market like real estate or BizOp or something that's just 101 competitors, the truth is people need to understand why you are different. They need to understand your philosophy, why your strategy is better than anything else out there. And this is why low ticket is one of the best funnels in the world, because your consumers are paying you money to consume. Now, let me write it here. Why are low ticket offers bang on awesome? This is the shift I want you to sit with. Moving to a low ticket funnel on the front end, because instead of trying to sell a 2K or 5K program to a stranger, you put something small in front of them first, whether it's a book, a cheap product, a mini course, an $18 low ticket offer that costs them next to nothing but gets them to raise their hand and pay you. Now, there are three things that happen when you do this. One is you turn strangers into buyers. And let me tell you, that feeling is awesome. When you turn strangers into buyers, this is someone who's already paid you $20. It's completely different to compare to someone who's a cold lead, right? Because they've crossed the line from interested to customer, and that makes every future sale easier. Think about this. From $18 they've invested in you, you have their credit card as well on file. So all you need to do is get their approval to have them spend more with you, right? It's so easy for you to do 197 and to do 5K. Now, this is where all the magic sauce is, and we'll go through this later. But this is a much easier flow than $0 to 5K. Second thing, you liquidate your ad spend. This is so key to profitability. So you liquidate your ad spend. Now, when you liquidate your ad spend, what do I mean by this? The money coming in from the front end offer pays for the ads bringing people in. So you're acquiring buyers for close to free, which does wonders for your margin. Now, that's in an ideal world. For us, in the business that I ran, the real estate coaching business, we recoup back about 70% of the ad spend with low ticket sales. And that did wonders because nearly 100% of the back end sales, that means our 10K mastermind, that means our 5K coaching program, it was all nearly, well, realistically 80% of whatever we recoup from that will go to our income, right? So revenue wise, we were running on higher profit margins than most businesses that only deliver ad spend on a webinar or something else that doesn't actually produce income on the front end. Now, 3, and this is the big one, is the funnel does your convincing for you. So I call this pull marketing. When your business is doing pull marketing, guess what? They are coming to you to be sold. They are reaching out to you for questions. They are talking to your setters. And by the time they get the call, they already understand the opportunity. You're not selling from a standing start anymore. This is why our close rates had a baseline of 50%, and we actually averaged about 60, 65% close rates. And how we did it? A low ticket funnel. Now, let me show you how exactly this looked like, because I lived and breathed it for every day for the past 3 years. Back when I was running my slow flips business, our front end was a webinar. And then we switched to a low ticket funnel. So webinar, and then we switched to a low ticket called Out of the Slow Flip. Now this changed everything for us because again, here it was 0 to 5K. And now it's $18 to 5K. Again, this single biggest shift is so different because when someone's first interaction with your world is buying and they read your book, they are showing up already warmed up. Again, when someone watches a webinar, it's just 2 hours. They're just sitting down, they're forced to consume. And you know what? how do you know if they're even reading? They're even watching, right? They're just like scrolling through, they're skimming through their phone, looking at TikTok, and that's it, done. But when they buy for a book, they are forced to read it. They are forced to consume it because they have voted with their dollars. And so they will intentionally sit down and they will consume your philosophy, your strategies, your case studies, and they understand the opportunity at a deeper level before you ever get on a call with them. So we made the book the first point of entry for anyone entering our world. And our lead quality went through the roof, higher close rate, and higher AOV, higher average order values, and more people paid in full. And the part I love the most is a lot more sales without us chasing people or following up 10 times to get a yes. That's pull marketing at its finest. They came to us already sold on the idea. So the book was our leverage point, our 80/20. Without it, we'd have burned every sales call and turned sales calls into education calls, trying to convince people why slow flips even work, why they beat everything else out there. But with it, the book had already done that job for us before we ever spoke. And it paid for itself. That book funnel liquidated around 60 to 70% of our front end ad spend. So we were bringing buyers at a fraction of the cost, and that fed straight back to the profit margins of the business. That's why I'm telling you to look hard at a low ticket funnel as your next move. Now, remember I told you about that 2x revenue jump? So earlier in this video, I mentioned that we went from, I think, 88K to 198K in just a span of 30 days. Now, how this happened is that we jumped because at the time we were running a low ticket funnel, but there was no closer, right? Our setters were trying to track closed book buyers to our high ticket coaching program. And they would send them to webinar to be closed. But because people didn't really watch the webinar too much, there was a huge backlog of leads who didn't convert straight away because they just wanted to talk to someone. So we built up so much demand for our philosophy and slow flips that we found that people just needed some reassurance when they were paying like $5,000, or at the time it was 2.5K. And so people just wanted to speak to someone. So we had prospects telling us every day, can I speak to someone? Can I speak to someone? Like actually on the phone. And it took a couple of months for me to be like, all right, shit, we need to get someone to sit down and take phone calls. And the moment we hired a closer, we 2x the business and we never looked back since. And that was the second leverage point after putting a low ticket funnel, is having a closer to wrap up all the leads and convert them into sales. So low ticket funnels compound growth massively if you know how to do it well. If you're stuck at 20K a month as a coach and everything feels urgent, that's your signal. Stop trying to fix 10 things, find the one lever, get the front end right, and let it do the heavy lifting so you're not the one carrying the whole business on your back every single month. Now, to wrap things up, I just want to mention a couple things in closing. The first one was having a low ticket or some sort of funnel that converts cold to buyers. Even if it's $1, $7, $18, that makes all the difference. Second thing is having that will liquidate your ad spend, which means you can have more profits for your backend. And the third is pull marketing. When you have a low ticket funnel, people reach out to you to consume, they reach out to you. They come to you with questions, not you following up with them. Okay, so putting a low ticket funnel is going to really help, and it's going to help you as a coach when you're running a business make things easier so you can spend time on what you really need to do. Until next time.